Hello, you're watching the news on Sansad TV. I'm Bhawna Nayar. It's just 2 days left for the first phase of Gujarat Assembly elections. We'll get you all the updates from the election carnival. There'll be much more from international sports and economy. Let's first begin with the top 5 headlines this Monday evening. Campaigning for Gujarat Assembly elections in full swing. Prime Minister holds several rallies in the state. Former Gujarat Minister Jai Narayan Vyas joins Congress party. Rajnath Singh co-chairs 4th Indo-French Annual Defence Dialogue with French counterpart, focus on defence ties, counter-terrorism, maritime security in the Indo-Pacific. 53rd International Film Festival of India concludes in Goa. Actor Chiranjeevi awarded Indian Film Personality of the Year. Over 282 films screened during the 9-day-long extravaganza. China records 40,000 cases of COVID-19 in a day despite zero COVID policy. Protest against government's strict lockdown measures spread to several cities, including Beijing. And in sports, Rituraj Gaikwad creates history, hits 7 sixes in 1 over. Cameroon holds Serbia to 3-3 draw in FIFA World Cup. And after the top headlines, we now take a look at some more important news in Flash segment. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman concludes consultation meetings for Budget 2023-24. More than 110 invitees participate in 8 meetings. Government extends term of Vinay Mohan Quatra as Foreign Secretary till 30th April 2024. Quattro was to superannuate on 31st December. Power Ministry launches scheme for procurement of aggregate power of 4,500 megawatt for 5 years. India-Malaysia joint military exercise Harimau Shakti 2022 begins in Malaysia. Exercise to culminate on the 12th of December. Election Commission of India announces ex gratia of 15 lakh rupees each to the kin of 2 jawans of the Indian Reserve Battalion killed in an accidental firing during election duty in Gujarat. Amazon to wind down parts of India operation, says report. Company said to exit meal deliveries and doorstep deliveries of packaged consumer goods. Monkeypox to be now known as Mpox, the World Health Organization announces after complaints over racist and stigmatizing language linked to the virus's name. Fitch Ratings says India's bank credit to see strong growth in current financial despite effects of higher interest rates. Projects India's real GDP growth at 7% in 2022-23. Landslide kills at least 14 attending a funeral on a soccer pitch in Yaoundé, the capital of Cameroon. And at least 7 people, including a newborn baby and 2 children, killed on the island of Ischia in Italy. Landslide caused by torrential rain devastates the small town. And time now to look at all the latest from the poll-bound state of Gujarat. Campaigning for the first phase of Gujarat Assembly polls is in full swing. All political parties are going all out to woo the voters. On the whirlwind campaign tour to the state, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed several rallies today. He said that after the BJP came to power, Gujarat has been on the path of development for the last 20 years. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed election rallies in Bhavnagar, Kutch and Jamnagar today. Addressing a rally in Palitana in Bhavnagar district, the Prime Minister said the state has rejected the Congress because of its divide and rule tactic. Modi said the people of Gujarat have suffered a lot due to the party's policy of inciting people of one region or community against another. He said that the people of Gujarat are not ready to help such people who support elements who want to break India. He said the opposition party must shun its divide and rule strategy to win back the trust of the people of Gujarat. The Prime Minister also accused the Congress of trying to disrupt the reach of Narmada water to the drought-hit region of Saurashtra.
આ ગુજરાત સમરસતા વાળું હોય, આ ગુજરાતની અંદર ગામડું હોય કે શહેર, એકતાનું વાતાવરણ હોય, એ આજે ગુજરાતનો સ્વભાવ બની ગયો છે. અને ગુજરાત જ્યારે એકજૂટ થયો તો વિભાજનકારી શક્તિઓને ગુજરાતમાં પગ પેસવારો કરવાની તાકાત ન મળી અને એના કારણે કોંગ્રેસની વિદાય થઈ.
And some more election-related news. Former Gujarat Minister Jay Narayan Vyas joined the Congress party today. Vyas, who quit the BJP earlier this month, joined the Congress in presence of its president, Mallikarjun Kharge, who inducted the 75-year-old into the party. Union Home Minister Amit Shah is addressing multiple rallies in Gujarat ahead of the assembly polls. Addressing a public meeting, Amit Shah said that the enthusiasm of the people gathered there is a reflection of the unprecedented development taking place at the grassroots level in every village of Gujarat. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has given a new slogan for Gujarat Assembly elections. He said that change stands for Aam Aadmi Party. The Election Commission has set up a polling booth for only one voter in the Gir forest of Somnath district. This booth has been set up for Mahant Haridas Udasin of Baneshwar Mahadev temple located in Banej in the dense jungles of Gir. Apart from this, 7 more polling booths have been set up for the tribal voters in the Gir forest area. Moving on to another important news, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday expressed happiness over the growth in milk production in the last 8 years. Prime Minister said that a vibrant dairy sector is also a great way to further strengthen India's women power. Milk production in India increased by 83 million tons in past 8 years. Union Minister for Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying, Purushottam Rupala, stated in a tweet. He credited the growth to the government's initiatives and policies to boost the dairy and animal husbandry sector in the last 8 years. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh co-chaired the 4th India-France Annual Defence Dialogue with French Minister of Armed Forces Sébastien Lecornu in New Delhi. Both ministers held wide-ranging talks including operational defence ties, counter-terrorism, maritime security in the Indo-Pacific and industrial and technological partnerships in line with India's Atmanirbhar Bharat policy. France is one of India's most trusted strategic partners and both countries look forward to celebrating 25 years of their strategic partnership in 2023. Earlier, the French Minister of Armed Forces was accorded a Guard of Honor in New Delhi. He also laid a wreath at the National War Memorial. Lecornu is on a 2-day visit to India. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar gave away Shilp Guru and national awards to master craft persons for the year 2017, 2018 and 2019 in New Delhi today. Addressing the event, the Vice President said that India is growing at a faster pace and has become the most preferred destination for investments and opportunities in the world. He stated that India has surpassed its colonial masters and has become the 5th largest economy in the world. He exuded confidence that India will become the 3rd largest economy by the end of the decade. He also noted that the handicraft sector holds a huge potential for growth, particularly in the rural and semi-urban areas, he noted. Listen in.
भारत सरकार के मंत्रालय ने आपके लिए काम आसान कर दिया है. आपके गुरु उन्होंने आइडेंटिफाई कर लिए. These gurus will ever motivate and inspire you, generate passion and mission in you, और आप भारत की संस्कृति का सर्जन करने में कोई कसर बाकी नहीं रखेंगे.
Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla said democracy and democratic values are way of life for the people of India. He was addressing the participants of the 36th Parliamentary Internship Program organized by Lok Sabha Secretariat in the Parliament House complex in New Delhi. Lok Sabha Speaker mentioned that Indian traditions and culture follow democratic norms in all spheres of life. He added that India has been the guiding spirit of parliamentary democracy for other countries. The parliamentary internship program is being attended by 44 participants from 17 countries.
किसी बिल पर या किसी मोशन पर विरोध प्रकट करना हो तो उसको मत मांगने का अधिकार भारत की संसद के अंदर है। किसी भी माननीय सदस्यों को चर्चा संवाद में सहमति असहमति का अधिकार है और इसीलिए बहुमत से निर्णय होना, बहुमत से विधेयक पारित होना, विधेयक पर व्यापक चर्चा संवाद होना, ये हमारी संसद की बेस्ट परंपरा पद्धतियां हैं।
Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla gave away prizes to the winners of Hindi Pakhwada 2022 today at a program organized by the Lok Sabha Secretariat in Parliament House complex. Congratulating the winners, Om Birla said that Hindi Pakhwada is an occasion to celebrate the beauty of the Hindi language. The Lok Sabha Speaker said that linguistic diversity is India's strength. He added that languages help people form an emotive bond with one another and help to unify the nation. Take a listen.
उस व्यापकता, विशिलता, विविधताएं हमारे लोकतंत्र की ताकत है। इसलिए आपकी बहुत बड़ी जिम्मेदारी बन जाती है कि हम किस तरीके से अपनी अपनी भाषाओं में श्रेष्ठतम काम करें, लेकिन राजभाषा के रूप में जो हमारी अपनी भाषा जानी जाती है, दुनिया के किसी देश में जाएंगे और आप हिंदी में जब बात करेंगे तो आपको कहने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा आप हिंदुस्तान से आए हैं। कई देश ऐसे हैं जहां आज भी हिंदी भाषी बोली जाती है और हमें लगता है कि वो बोलने वाले लोगों से हमारा अपना तो भावनात्मक अपना बन जाता है। तो भाषाएं भावनात्मक रूप से भी जोड़ने का काम करती है।
Moving on, the 53rd International Film Festival of India concluded in Goa today. The closing ceremony was held at Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Stadium near Panaji this evening. Several awards were presented at the closing ceremony. Telugu superstar Chiranjeevi was awarded the Indian Film Personality of the Year 2022 at the ceremony. The Polish film Perfect Number was the closing film of this year's IFFI. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur and a host of film personalities were present on the occasion. During the 9-day festival, 280 films from 79 countries were screened. 25 feature films and 20 non-feature films from India were showcased in the Indian panorama. And a look now at some more news from across the nation. President Draupadi Murmu accepted the credentials of the ambassadors and high commissioners of 5 countries, namely Bangladesh, Maldives, United Arab Emirates, Latvia and Japan, at the Rashtrapati Bhavan today. Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia on Monday flagged off the first flight from Itanagar to Mumbai via Kolkata. Scindia virtually flagged off the flight from New Delhi. Scindia tweeted that the new air route was launched in line with the continuous expansion of aviation services in the northeast and in accordance with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Purvodaya resolution. The Supreme Court has stayed the order of the National Green Tribunal imposing a fine of Rs 100 crore on Noida for failing to prevent untreated sewage from flowing into Kondli Irrigation Canal. The top court also stayed the NGT order asking the Delhi Jal Board to pay a fine of Rs 50 crore for release of untreated sewage in the Yamuna River in the national capital. The court has sought a reply in this matter within 8 weeks. The protest against the proposed seaport project in Kerala's Vizinjam by the Adani Group escalated on Sunday after the protesters stormed in the Vizinjam police station in Thiruvananthapuram. Several police personnel were injured after a scuffle broke out between the two sides. All the injured police personnel were struck inside the police station after the protesters closed all entry points to the station. A bilateral training exercise between armies of India and Australia kick-started in Rajasthan on Monday. The Austro-Hind 2022 exercise will be conducted till December 11th. The ministry said that it will be a yearly event that will be conducted alternatively in India and Australia. This is the first exercise in the series of Austro-Hind with participation of all arms and services contingent from both armies. Slipping into a very short break here, more news coming up on Russia-Ukraine war front and all the updates from the world of sports. You stay tuned to Sansad TV. An initiative by Sansad TV to bring you common words related to the Constitution and legislatures in languages included in the 8th schedule of the Constitution.
Today's word is Legislative Assembly.
लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली सट्टामंत्र पेरवे
लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली जो बहुत यूज़ है उसको हम लोग विधान सभा बोलते हैं।
लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली को हिंदी में विधानसभा बोलते हैं।
लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली को विधानसभा।
Welcome back after the break. You're watching the news. Now take a look at all the latest from the Russia-Ukraine war front. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Sunday that Russia is planning to launch new missile attacks on his country. He warned the defense forces and citizens to prepare to work together to withstand the consequences. Zelensky said the week to come could be as difficult as the previous week when attacks on electricity infrastructure led to power cuts across Ukraine. He said that the defense forces are getting ready for the new scenario.
For managing risk with the Russian Federation, particularly nuclear risks, and that was the purpose.
Russia and the United States have ways to manage nuclear risk at the level of intelligence agencies. Chargé d'Affaires of the U.S. Embassy in Moscow, Elizabeth Rue, told Russia's state news agency. She said that this was the purpose of CIA Director William Burns' meeting with his Russian counterpart earlier this month. Ruth said that if there is need for another conversation in that channel, it can happen. However, she added that there is no such meeting scheduled right now. The Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant in southern Ukraine is still under Russia's control and will remain so, the Kremlin said today. The remarks came after the head of Ukraine's state-run nuclear energy company said on Sunday that there were signs that Russian forces might be preparing to vacate the nuclear power plant. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that there is no need to look for signs where there are none. Ukrainian presidential advisor Mikhailo Podolyak said late on Sunday that he had no doubt Russian forces would leave the plant where Ukrainian staff are still working. The Ukrainian government, along with various volunteer organizations, evacuated a number of elderly persons from the southern city of Kherson on Sunday. The evacuations continue amid intensified Russian bombardments, a harsh winter, and no electricity, water, or heating in the area. Russian forces struck eastern and southern Ukraine on Sunday, even as utility crews scrambled to restore power, water, and heating with the onset of snow. The Kremlin said today that it welcomed the Vatican offer to provide a negotiating platform to resolve the Ukrainian conflict. However, it added that Kiev's position made this impossible. Pope Francis had reiterated 10 days ago in an interview with an Italian newspaper that the Vatican was ready to mediate and put an end to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. He had called on everyone not to give up and stressed that both sides must commit to demilitarizing hearts and then diffusing disarming violence. And time now for some other news from some other parts of the globe. The protests against COVID-19 lockdowns in China have spread to Beijing, Shanghai, and several other cities as authorities scramble to contain the fresh surge in infections. Many people have been detained and heavy police deployment is in place in the cities witnessing protests. The wave of protest is unprecedented in mainland China since President Xi Jinping assumed power a decade ago. More details in our next report.
Hundreds of demonstrators clashed with the police in Shanghai on Sunday night as protests over China's stringent COVID restrictions spread to several cities. Protesters in Beijing held a peaceful demonstration on Sunday evening for a third day, demanding an end to lockdowns and PCR tests. A large crowd gathered in the southwestern metropolis of Chengdu, demanding an end to restrictions. In the central city of Wuhan, where the pandemic began 3 years ago, hundreds of residents took to the streets, smashing through metal barricades, overturning COVID testing tents and demanding an end to lockdowns. Students on numerous university campuses around China gathered to demonstrate over the weekend. Protests broke out after a fire at residential high-rise building in Urumqi, capital of the Xinjiang region, killing 10 people on Thursday. Videos of the incident posted on social media claimed that lockdowns were a factor in the blaze. Urumqi officials, however, denied on Saturday that COVID measures had hampered escape and rescue efforts. The protests, which began on Friday, have spread to at least 8 Chinese cities and are being seen as the most widespread show of opposition to the ruling party in decades. China has stuck with its Xi's zero-COVID policy, even as much of the world has lifted most restrictions. Beijing reported 840 symptomatic new locally transmitted COVID-19 infections and over 3,000 asymptomatic cases on Sunday. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
A roundup of international news in Global Wrap now. Australia's shift to nuclear-powered submarines will assure its South Pacific neighbours of its commitment to regional security, UK's Minister of State for the Indo-Pacific said today. Australia will announce in March the type of submarine it wants to build powered with US nuclear technology under a deal with the US and UK revealed in September last year. UK Minister Anne-Marie Trevelyan said that she expects the three nations to work closely together to deliver a fleet of 8 submarines. 2 seriously injured people trapped inside a small plane that crashed into high-voltage power lines near Washington, D.C. have been rescued. They have been transported from the scene to local area trauma centers with serious injuries. The aircraft crashed at about 5:30 p.m. in misty and wet conditions in Montgomery Village, Maryland on Sunday. It became caught up in live power lines about 100 feet from the ground, causing power outage in the area. Most power in the country has been restored. Gunfire was heard today from inside a besieged hotel in Somali capital Mogadishu. The Villa Rose Hotel near the presidential residence was stormed on Sunday by attackers of Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab using guns and explosives. A police officer said that some government officials escaped from the windows of the hotel. Special forces units took over operations, but the number of casualties from the siege and number of people rescued were not yet clear. The Somali parliament has postponed a scheduled session due to the attack. North Korea's leader took his daughter to a meeting with missile scientists in her second public appearance. On Sunday, the North state media said that she and Kim took photos with scientists, technicians, officials and other workers during the test launch of his Hwasong-17 intercontinental ballistic missile. KCNA described her as Kim's most beloved and precious child. The daughter, believed to be Kim's second child, named Ju A and about 9 or 10 years old, was first unveiled to the world last weekend in state media photos. The picture showed her observing the North intercontinental ballistic missile launch with her parents and other older officials. A landslide during a funeral ceremony in Cameroon's capital on Sunday has killed at least 14 people. Dozens of other remains missing as rescue crews continued digging through the rubble with flashlights. Nearly a dozen seriously injured were sent to the hospitals. And time to look what's happening in the world of sports. Maharashtra captain Rituraj Gaikwad hit 7 sixes in an over, a first in List A cricket against Uttar Pradesh in a Vijay Hazare Trophy quarter-final in Ahmedabad. UP bowler Shiva Singh conceded 43 runs in the over, which included a no ball. Legendary athlete P.T. Usha elected as president of Indian Olympic Association, one of the greatest athletes to have come out of India. Usha won 4 gold medals and 7 silvers at the Asian Games. Germany share points with Spain after a 1-1 draw to keep World Cup hopes alive. After conceding a goal in the 62nd minute, Germany equalized in the 83rd minute through Lucas Klostermann. Having led 3-1 at one stage, Serbia held to a 3-3 draw by Cameroon. Both teams failed to find the winner. Ghana beat South Korea 3-2 in an exciting Group H encounter. Mohammad Kudus scores the winner after Korea fight back to level, having trailed by 2 goals. Brazil will take on Switzerland in a short while. The 5-time world champions will be without Neymar, who suffered injury in the first match. And with that, it's a wrap of today's bulletin. Do stay tuned to Sansad TV for more news and updates round the clock. Thank you for watching. Good night. Namaskar.